This is DEC Signal, your weekly District 65 educator briefing. A lot happened last week. Here's what you need to know heading into February. Kingsley is officially closing. The board voted 6-0 on Thursday, January 23rd, following 3 public hearings earlier that week. This wasn't a surprise. The closure process started January 9th. But it's now final. Kingsley will close at the end of this school year. For Kingsley educators, DEC is in ongoing conversations with the district about staffing assignments. Remember, you do not apply for new positions. Placements are governed by state law, your contract, tenure, and certification. The district assigns you. DEC is at the table making sure those rules are followed. Board President Pat Anderson said she's looking forward to getting out into the community from behind my laptop and back into the schools. The district now faces closing 2 schools, Kingsley and Bessie Rhodes, while opening Foster, all within the next 6 months. At the hearings, parents and students asked the board to prioritize teacher well-being during the transition. Second grader June Dvorak told the board, "I want the teachers to be treated fairly. So do we." Major development on Willard TWI. Last Monday, the board voted 5-1 to officially close the Willard TWI immersion program. This is significant because until now, the district had called it an administrative decision, not a board decision. Here's what changed. Parents raised questions about whether TWI was legally classified as a magnet program. If it is, closing it required a board vote. The district's legal counsel reviewed and apparently agreed. Board member Maria Opdycke was the lone no vote. She has been the most vocal advocate for TWI families throughout this process. For Willard TWI educators, your situation is similar to Kingsley staff. Assignment to Foster or elsewhere will follow contract rules and state law. DEC is monitoring this closely. The Feb 4th Foster School Community Meeting is critical for families making decisions and for educators who want to understand what next year actually looks like. Today is February 2nd, the deadline for Regional Superintendent April Jordan to appoint the 7th board member. If the appointment happens as expected, Chris Van Nostrand will join the board. He finished 5th in last spring's election for 4 seats. Board member Maria Opdycke said weeks ago that everyone on the board knows Van Nostrand is the choice. Van Nostrand has said he supports 1 school closures and a comprehensive cost reduction plan. His kids attend Lincolnwood Elementary and Haven Middle School. A 7th board member means no more 3-3 deadlocks. That matters, because Lincolnwood's fate gets decided in October if the district doesn't hit financial benchmarks. At Monday's meeting, the board also received findings from a special education audit. We don't have full details yet, but this is part of the district's broader effort to review operations in the wake of the Horton indictment. The forensic audit of finances, focused on contracts and stipends during Horton's tenure, is still in progress. For educators who work with students on IEPs, pay attention. Any findings from these audits could affect staffing, services, or compliance requirements. DEC will keep you informed as details emerge. Looking ahead this week, February 4th is the Foster School Community Meeting for TWI families. If you're a TWI educator or work with TWI students, this is worth your attention. The district still hasn't met its financial sustainability benchmarks. Lincolnwood remains on conditional watch. The board will revisit that in October. Budget decisions are coming. Pre-K transportation cuts, class consolidation, and staffing reductions are all still on the table. That $5 million gap for next year hasn't disappeared. That's DEC signal for this week. It's been a heavy few weeks for this district. Closures, transitions, uncertainty. Take care of each other. If you have questions about your situation, talk to your building rep or contact DEC directly. We'll be back next Monday. Take care of yourselves.